Welcome to the Pulse of the Heartland podcast. It's Monday night. That means it's time for the fun cast. I want to thank everybody for following along live. We do appreciate it. So jump in the chat. We'll follow along with that and interact with you. We do appreciate that. It makes it fun for all of us here. So I guess if you're not following us live, you don't know how to get a hold of us. So Joey, how can people get a hold of us?
What up, Trent? They can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch at Heartland Pulse. Search Pulse of the Heartland on Facebook and YouTube. You can follow us, like Trent said, live every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, usually around 8:30 Central Time. And then also, real quick shout out to our partners, Let's Talk Sports at Let Talk Sport on Twitter, and In the Zone Media at inthezone.studio and at In the Zone Media 1 on Twitter.
All right. What are you drinking, Joey?
Just some water. Drove down here to Pine Bluff or Whitehall, Arkansas, whichever one I'm at. And yeah, had that all day. So just got back from Colton Steakhouse right next door. That was pretty good.
Oh, what'd you have?
2 pork chops, green beans, and a salad.
Delicious.
Mm-hmm. It was good. But yeah, other than that, just some high quality H2O.
All right. Orion, what are you drinking?
So I only have water right now, but I just saw this. So yeah, nothing special with me, but I saw this on Twitter for you, Trent. Here, I'll try to share the page. Let's see here. I'm still figuring out this technology thing. So son of a gun, that's not it. Son of a bitch on my teams. Okay. Working on it here.
What do we got here?
Yeah.
Just
for you. Just for you.
News coming. I'm guessing the big news is their franchise is going under.
Yeah, no shit.
And there won't be a season for them. And I bought a T-shirt for nothing.
Those shirts are going to be so cheap next year.
Oh, yeah.
They were cheap last year.
Yeah. So I did see the commercials during the NFL now for the AFL coming up here. Remember last year where like first game stadium was full. Every game after that, nobody there. Do you think even for the first game, the stadium is going to be full this year?
No,
I don't think they're yet.
Is The Rock going to be there? That'd be the only way that they fill a stadium.
The Rock?
That's XFL.
Yeah.
I still say the only way they fill a stadium is they bring in The Rock. He doesn't even have to promote anything. He could just be there, and they would get. That's the only way they'd get more people to watch.
It's like, oh, The Rock's in attendance, and then the next game there's a bunch of people there. Easy as that.
Legitly, I'm joking about like if The Rock was there. I'm saying they would bring in more people to the stadium if they just said there was a very big rock in the stands. You want to come see it? It's sparkly, and people would go to see that rather than that football product.
So what you're saying is we need to get The Rock on the Funcast sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
We can
All right,
get
Brian.
I
You
bet
start
we can
working
get a
on
Rock
that.
impersonator on Cameo pretty cheap.
You start sliding in his DMs.
All right, will do.
I think we should do a super sweet deep fake.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hold on. Do I look like him yet? That's my eyebrow
Close-
raised, my bald face.
Close enough. Looks good.
Has his stock dropped since the whole WB thing? I feel like there's been a lot of Rock bashing in the last couple weeks.
I think everyone's just starting to become a hater with everything in life.
Yeah.
Which I'm all for, but
What is? Did I miss something? What is this?
So WB hired James Gunn, who people mostly know him from Guardians of the Galaxy, but he also did the latest Suicide Squad, and he's like the new vice president or something like that of what's not Marvel, what is it? It's DC Comics.
Mm-hmm.
And basically they got rid of a ton of people and a ton of movies, and The Rock is one of them. So they did Black Adam, which I never saw it, but I thought it was somewhat of a a box office success. But yeah, no more Black Adam.
Yeah. No.
So out of everybody they could drop, they dropped arguably the most like noticeable personality that they could.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
they dropped Henry Cavill. They dropped everyone pretty much, other than the person accused of sexual assault. They're still making that movie though.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, the Flash, by the way.
Yeah.
He didn't Flash people. He is the Flash.
Yeah.
But he's probably done more stuff than that. So
Seems like a good nickname for him then.
Who plays the Flash?
Ezra Miller.
Hmm.
And no, we did not name our daughter after him.
Oh.
And I know what you're thinking, but wait, didn't Harry Potter get rid of Johnny Depp because of some other stuff? Yep, and they kept Ezra Miller in that movie franchise as well. Just very messed up all around.
Wait, Johnny Depp was in Harry Potter?
Yeah.
I learned something new too.
Yeah, and the Fantastic Beasts franchise.
Yeah.
Is this the movie minute? Are we doing that first?
I can throw that out to you. I mean, I'm just spitting facts here. You
Okay.
take them or leave them.
All right. Well, Brian, what are you sipping on? We haven't got to you yet.
Oh, a little agua. Still,
Okay.
I'm not a big drinker on a Monday anymore, and I haven't found any good beer cans that have something funny on it. You know.
I think we've just gotten old, haven't we?
No,
Yeah, we've
I'll,
aged in the last year and a half.
And we're just hitting our stride because we're gonna have an announcement coming up probably next week, I would guess.
yeah.
To be fair, we used to record on a Tuesday. It does drastically change.
That is true.
What
To
you're
be
gonna drink.
fair,
To
And we
be
would do
fair.
2 episodes in one night. It would get kind of late.
Yeah, every
Yes, it would.
Tuesday I get just schnockered now, but Mondays I hydrate.
You get schnockered on Tuesdays, the night we don't pod. Okay, gotcha.
Yes, sir.
Clark, are you sipping on anything?
Yes, Trent, I am. I've got some Bullet Bourbon Rye.
Yeah.
Bullet 95, baby.
How many
Yeah.
L's and T's in that?
2 L's, 1 T.
I thought it was ITT. BULLITT.
I'm thinking it's knockoff. It's spelled BULLEIT. This can't be real. This can't be real.
Maybe I've always misspelled it. I don't know.
Bullet.
As long as-
If I fall out of my chair here soon, you'll know why.
Don't
Nope,
class
that
it up,
is-
dirt.
That is not a knockoff. That is the real thing.
Oh. As long as you're getting bull lit from drinking it, you're fine.
Yeah.
it's actually French. It's boulet.
Ooh.
Michael,
I got some
Buble.
Boulet. It's straight American rye whiskey. What more could you ask for?
Nothing straighter than this whiskey.
And here are South Park.
There you go.
Can we like screen grab that and like have that as Brian's like lead in from now on? Here's Brian. Nothing straighter than this whiskey.
My best Sam Elliott that I can do.
Oh man, Trent, what are you sipping on?
Well, at the moment, nothing. But I'm not gonna let Clark drink alone, so I'll go get me. Some
Yay!
Oak. Yep, I'm gonna go get some Oak and Eat, and I'll be back.
The way this
Nice.
is going, we may need to cut this segment from now on.
Yeah.
Nice shirt, by the way, Trent. Go Jackrabbits.
Repping the national champs, baby. Ears up.
Or whatever the fuck.
I would think that's what a rap would say. Yes.
Do you just put up bunny ears? Is that how this works?
Ears up.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was just this. You have to do both hands on the side of your head.
No.
Just doing a cat there.
It's like Austin Powers. Doesn't he
Yep,
do that?
exactly. Yep.
All right. Well, before I go get a drink here, let's jump into this thing. 4 games this weekend. I'm sad. NFL, that just means is winding down. There's 3 more NFL games this season.
Trace.
Sad. But
Trace games left.
But Saturday, the first game was the Chiefs and the Jaguars. Chiefs did come away victorious. They couldn't cover 9.5 because they're a bunch of bums. But I'll let Bryant and Clark take it away because it's their team.
Clark, you start first.
I'm just trying to figure this out. This seems completely asinine. Hey, that's better. There we go.
There we go.
Just click around. One of them will work.
What'd you feel about the game, Clark?
The moment I saw Mahomes' leg get rolled onto, I thought it was done. I thought, oh, God, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Patty Mahomes is one tough son of a bitch. That's what I think. It pretty much went as good as we could have asked without Mahomes getting a high ankle sprain. But here we are. We're moving on, hosting yet another conference championship, Kansas City Invitational, as it's going to be called from now on.
I just call it Chiefs Week 21 because we hosted it.
Couldn't be better. So, what'd you think, Brian? I was at a birthday party trying to watch this game, so it was a little iffy, but
yeah. Mahomes went down. I have rewatched that hit over and over again in slow-mo and fast-mo. I can't tell if it was an intentional, like, landing on his foot. There's a couple things on the actual hit between helmet-to-helmet hitting, and then he drops his weight and immediately lands straight onto his ankle. Regardless, he had to get pulled out. It sounded like Andy actually told him he had to go to the locker room before, he'd let him back into the game. Even with that ankle sprain, feels good to have Chad Henne backing up and be able to, they kind of just put Chad into Mahomes' offense, if you will. Like, they didn't change it completely, dumb it down and go, okay, we can't take the risk. I mean, when you have a veteran backup like that, you should be able to trust him with playing like that. And, I mean, it feels pretty good knowing that with your backup quarterback, you can have a 98-yard drive and lead you to a touchdown, which ultimately ended up being the difference in the game, with the Chiefs winning by 7. Now, just for, keeping it Chiefs schools, we'll talk Jags in a couple seconds here. I'm happy the way that the line and the defense responded to once Mahomes was out, because I felt like once he was injured, they go, okay, we can't fuck up anymore because, we're riding this fucking ticket all the way to the Super Bowl if we can, and we can't let anyone come through. So, I mean, I hope in this week off, I'm sorry, not week off, week of prep, that they get the offense a little bit more, how quick can we get the ball out, handing it off to Pacheco, making stuff happen. Because I don't think we can count on his mobility this weekend, at least not 100%.
I agree. Yeah, definitely going to probably see a little better pocket set, not moving the pocket around as much, not having them roll out. Not going to see a lot of, no snow globe plays probably, just killing the fun. But no, I feel like that moment happened and everybody just went, shit, we got to buckle down. It's real. Let's go. So.
Nope. Yeah. And then after the Sunday's game we'll get to now, we're playing the Bengals for the fourth time in 2 years, 0-3 versus them. They better all fucking buckle down and get ready for this game because Mahomes will still be. I'll take Mahomes at 65% over pretty much everyone else in the league right now. But we got to be ready for it. The Bengals are going to bring it. I don't know if they are going with we're the best team in the AFC and everyone needs to respect us for it, or if they're going to do chip on the shoulder underdog mentality. I don't know. The language that they're throwing out there has me for a loop on which way we're supposed to feel for the Bengals. But all I know is the defense better step it up and start making some fucking stops in this game. Because last game, I think it was in like 6 or 7 possessions, and they scored 5 touchdowns. I mean, it's just we got to be able to stop something next Sunday.
They're gonna have to play more physical. I feel like the last game, Bengals came out physical right from the start, and it kind of caught the Chiefs off guard. I feel like in the playoffs, though, you're expecting that physicality not to have a flag thrown every time you touch somebody. So I don't know. This is the Chiefs season. This is what they're known for. So I expect them to come out and just start hitting them in the mouth. So,
question for you guys. I haven't watched a ton in depth of Chiefs games. I enjoy watching them and love Mahomes. Obviously, our struggles as Vikings fans watching shitty defense, and you guys seem to have the same kind of complaints, regularly about defense not being great. Do you guys play, like, our issue is we played a super soft zone coverage, very rarely ever played man. Is that kind of what Kansas City does too? Do they kind of play a shell zone offense type deal, or do they actually play some man?
I feel like they play a pretty strong mix, at least from what I see. I mean, they bring several, cornerback blitzes every now and then. You probably see L'Jarius Sneed rushing the quarterback at least once, maybe twice a game. You see a couple other cornerbacks or safeties getting in there in the mix for blitzing as well. I feel like Spags does a pretty good job of keeping it inconsistent, where maybe they don't know exactly what you're going to throw out there. So I don't know. I feel like they do a pretty good job of scheming most of the time. If they're giving up something, it's a failed assignment. That's my feel, or it's a well-designed offensive play. Like this last weekend, I think they lined up Kirk at running back, and it threw off the defensive end. Karlaftis was responsible for the running back. Well, shit, now it's a wide receiver, and there was some confusion at the line being discussed pre-snap, and he still stuck with the coverage and got burned for a touchdown, as you would expect with that matchup. So that was great scheming by Doug Peterson's crew on that one. But I mean, that is how you have to draw up plays and win games, is to get those mismatches, which props to the Jags.
The only thing I'm going to add to that is we have 3 rookie cornerbacks right now as well. So,
they've been playing great ball at times. It's just a little inconsistent, and they give up some plays.
Yeah, but
how has the safety play been since Matthews left, or Matthew
Reed?
No, Honey Badger.
Yeah, just
yeah. How has his replacement been this year?
I feel like you don't hear his name nearly as often. He's very physical. Like if the running back gets to his level, he's going to eat it on the chin and make the tackle. So I do like seeing him. He is aggressive in that sense.
That's a complete 180 from Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah, exactly. Like he knows how to make an open field tackle, which is great. I feel like as far as coverage, you don't hear his name getting called because he's not getting burned. So he doesn't make a lot of mistakes and usually plays pretty good coverage. So what more can you ask for from a defensive back?
The only time I've really heard from him since the Bengals, it was only the Bengals game that I've really heard from him, other than when he was doing the emergency kicks this year.
Oh yeah.
The one thing that I heard about him, it was he was kind of snapping off at Jamar Chase, and they had the little Twitter fight back and forth. And then guess what? We lost, and I think he kept his mouth shut, and hopefully he learns his focus this week and, prove it on the field. I don't give a shit how much you talk shit on Twitter. That's where Tyrann and Chris Jones and everyone was having issues last season, because they're more worried about mouthing off on Twitter than playing well on the field.
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson, yeah. So I don't know. Other than that, I know a couple things that you guys are talking about, just the Mahomes-Kelsey connection. He is number 2 all time in receptions. Kelsey is in the playoffs in history, right behind Jerry Rice, above Julian Edelman. So, I mean, he's solid up there. I've heard a lot of people talking about like GOAT talk with Kelsey. I don't know if he's quite there yet. If you're talking all time greatest all around. But I think he's got to be in the discussion at least. Top 5 I mean, you could make arguments even top 3 right now. I don't know if you can just consensus say number 1, but with him being 32 and his longevity that he's had in his attitude and his scheme and the players around him, I think it's not going to be up for discussion in 3 years on who the GOAT is.
Did you listen to any of the New Heights podcast when they had Gronk on here on the last episode?
Not yet. What did you think?
That was a fun episode to listen to. Getting to hear Gronk's insights on New England and his time in the league and how things have been, and just hear the respect that those guys have for each other. It's not really a competition between them, but more them appreciating the other guy. And Gronk is very happy that Travis Kelce has not broken his touchdowns in a season record, which is 17. Kelce kind of thought he might have a chance this year, and then he went like 4 or 5 weeks without a touchdown here in the last half of the season. But yeah, no, that was fun to listen to. You might check that out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, after he had 4 touchdowns in a game, I'm guessing he was thinking he was coming after that record.
Yeah,
well,
no joke.
And he had 3 in another game in a different game this year. So I mean, that's 7 in 2 games. What the fuck happened the rest of the 15?
Would you guys say that Tony is the second weapon now after Kelce, or is it still Juju, or what?
I don't know if the sad thing, we don't really have a true number 2, I don't think.
I feel like Tony was a pretty good pickup too.
He was.
I feel like there was a little bit of hesitation right away, but I think he's done pretty well. But I mean, when Mahomes is your quarterback, I mean, you could throw me and Trent on the field and we'd probably be pretty good too.
Yep.
Is Kadarius Toney extremely fast?
Yeah.
Like I noticed that watching the game on Saturday. I was like, dude, this is like Tyreek Hill. I mean, he just looks fast.
Where you can just tell they're running next to each other and he is just slowly outgaining and then passing the next person. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is that fast, and he has that change of direction that can be really deadly, which hopefully they've come up with more schemes that, if they're going to focus on Kelce this weekend, they can get Tony open. And like you said, MVS can get open. I think that's where their real gameplay is. Who are they not going to focus on? Because we do have weapons, but you have to scheme correctly around them. Remember, I think it was only McColl was the only wide receiver on the team last year that is back this season. So we are really dealing with all new weapons, and yeah, we've played with them the whole year, but they're really, like I said, there isn't a set number 2. It's Kelce, and then everyone else. It's what's the flavor of the week this week? Who's the hot hand? So
McColl's the only weapon who's back, and he hasn't played like the last 4 or 5 weeks due to injury, like an abdominal injury or something. So
I think he's so questionable too.
I feel like that's kind of advantageous for them too, because it's like, oh, who are we focusing on? I mean, obviously Kelce, but after that, it's like, who we doubling doesn't matter because they're sharing the ball.
Whereas last year is, okay, do we double Hill on this one or do we double Kelce? And then who do we, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, hell, even last year when we had 2 of the, the best tight end and the fastest wide receiver, that wasn't enough to get it done either. So, I think this year kind of, okay, now we can't just focus on Hill in this one and make anyone else beat us. It's kind of, someone's going to have to step up. Tony has the speed where I think he can burn a couple of these guys. Eli Apple's been known to get burnt before. It's just we're going to have these guys that haven't had to be the star this year because Mahomes can just elevate anyone to where Mahomes is downgraded a little bit with this injury. They're going to have to step up for him.
Yep. Totally agree.
So the only thing other than that, dude, is I think Lawrence is going to be a baller, man. I think he's going to be a legit number 4 in the AFC now with the top 3, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen. I think he's going to be the one that's competing with him every year. You saw glimpses at the end of the year with him having those 300, 400-yard performances, 3+ touchdowns. He didn't quite get it done in the in the playoffs, but you saw what Doug Peterson is starting to do with Kirk, with Zay Jones, with Etienne, I mean, I would easily put the Jags winning that division next year.
Yeah, I was make that same point with they have the pieces and they've got Doug Peterson, they've got a good coach. I mean, he's won a Super Bowl. I think the Jags are set up for quite a few years if they can keep that together.
Yeah, and talk about a guy who really reignited his career with a change of scenery. Kirk has been fantastic. I know there was a lot of he had a pretty big salary, a big contract that they signed him to, but he's definitely lived up to it.
Yeah, everyone ridiculed that contract, and probably we did with Cameron Kirk. He's getting that money, but it's like if you got money to spend and you're the Jags, just spend it. Going cheap in the NFL isn't going to do anything other than you don't sell tickets later in the year. You don't sell jerseys for even a middle of the road name. I mean, just spend the money and get Trevor Lawrence any pieces to help him at that point. And look what it got you. You overspent. You really did overspend on a few pieces, but you got to the playoffs. You got to the second round of the playoffs. If any, we won't look at it that way. So keep spending money.
Yeah, that was the contract where I saw, and I'm like, okay, this is really going to hurt with Justin Jefferson when it's time to get his contract.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Nope. I agree, man. That is going to be a pretty penny when he wants it.
Yeah.
And Trevor Lawrence finally lost on a Saturday.
First time ever.
Finally.
At the hands of Mahomes and Henny. What do you expect?
36-1.
Oh.
If only the NFL was played on Saturdays.
They call him Sunshine Scooter.
Well, you two homers got anything else to add to this, or we moving on to the Eagles and the Giants? Because
we can move on. We can always talk about the Chiefs.
This game was a real good game. It was over by the end of the first quarter. We could shut it off, go to bed early on a Saturday night. It was great. It was 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. The final score ended up being 38-7. I don't even know if the game was that close, and it was still a 31-point difference.
Trent's kind of night.
Yeah, turn it off, go to bed. Yeah, we were at Buffalo Wild Wings. One of my coworkers is from Philadelphia, so he's a huge Eagles fan. So we went up to B-Dubs and watched that. So I went to the bar with him twice this year and watched Eagles games with him, and both of them, they pounded the Giants.
Who didn't see that happening though? Did anybody really believe the Giants could keep up with them?
No,
not
one bit.
I mean, but not to bring up bad memories, but I mean, we saw what little they did, and it was literally the Vikings losing that game. The Giants didn't win it, and then you have an Eagles team that has better, or I wouldn't even say better weapons, but they have an extra week of rest, and they know how to play the Giants.
Well, I mean, it's amazing what happens when you play a team that actually has a defense and doesn't let Daniel Jones look like the second coming of Tom Brady.
Yeah,
Vanilla Vic.
Vanilla Vic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The Eagles' defense is legit. And that's the difference. And obviously, I mean, they put up 38 points. They can score too.
Oh yeah.
Joey, what did you think of the game? You were giving Hurts your MVP vote.
Yeah, I just think that they looked amazing, and they haven't since he's been hurt. I think he brings another element to that team. So no, that game was, like you guys have all said, it was pretty much done right away, and I started paying attention to UFC after that. But man, that Eagles team, they also have one of the best lines in the league, so that helps a lot too.
You mentioned they look different with Jalen Hurts. Obviously, when he got hurt and Gardner Minshew was their starter, I honestly didn't think there would be that big of a drop off because Gardner Minshew is a good quarterback. I mean, he really is.
He started a whole year.
He could start for a lot of teams in the NFL right now, but I was wrong. Like, there is a big drop off from Hurts to Minshew. I mean, Hurts is starting to be legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just legit thought when we watched him, I thought Minshew was going to win one of those games. And, I mean, I expected what Henny just did. Okay, you're going to have a couple drives. You're going to be able to pull out a couple games. You're not going to win all of them, but we're not expecting you to. And he kind of fell flat on his face.
Yeah.
He ran into that buzzsaw in Dallas,
Yes. Oh, he ran into that buzzsaw and he went back to his van that he has parked outside a gym that he had all summer last year.
He's like Uncle Rico.
There's always some goofy shit where it's just like him in like cutoff shorts. I think we showed it on the pod here. The cutoff shorts with the katana that he was just flipping around. I mean, it's like I saw that video. I didn't even like flinch. I just went, yep, that sounds about right for everything that I've heard from Gardner.
That's a guy that's just having fun in life. Just doesn't care.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. Was that you, Bryant, that put the note in there? Their last 10?
Yes. Yeah, the Giants end their season on a 3-6-1 finish in the last 10 games. They did win their 11th game, but it was versus Houston right after their bye. But I mean, they really remember they started super hot, and we thought they were kind of the team that we were originally saying, oh, well, they're the lucky team. They're squeaking by on these. They were a missed field goal in Tennessee, blah, 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 all this. And then they started hot, but then they just, all those one possession games, they started losing. You know, they really just kind of shit the bed late in the year.
Yeah, they were like the Vikings, just on the wrong side of all those games.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yep.
So I don't know. The only other thing I put in there was just, you know, Saquon and Daniel Jones. I think Saquon could go anywhere. I think he's going to get paid, which I guess if you're dabble and you can get the right system, I guess you can overpay on him. Jones, I don't know if he makes a lot of money going anywhere else other than Giants. If he can sign a team-friendly deal and they can keep Saquon and they can get some, I mean, sounds harsh, but if they can just get any fucking weapons around him, dude, they could legit in his system be very good.
Yeah, I think Daniel Jones is in the right situation right now. If he decided that the New York Giants weren't going to pay him enough and he's going to test free agency and go somewhere else, I don't know if he's a starter at a lot of places.
Right. That's my kind of thought with this whole thing is he really showed out up until the playoffs, basically. And even in that win over the Vikings, unfortunately, he looked good in that game too. So I don't think, like you said, I don't think he starts very many other places. So I think he should stay in New York and they should build around him.
Yeah, I agree.
Question for you.
Oh, go ahead, Clark.
Who would you rather have starting quarterback? Vanilla Vic or Kyler Murray?
Well, I know Ryan's answer.
Sadly, I think I might choose Kyler.
What? No.
Sadly enough.
I would take Kyler but I have to have the homework clause in his contract.
Dude, Vanilla Vic gives you everything Kyler can do without the drama. What's not to love?
That's true.
I would say I would take Daniel Jones.
I hear Daniel Jones, if you sign him to his team, he will spread all of his Coles cash to everyone on the offense. I mean, that might be worth it in itself.
Him and Kirk Cousins shopping in the same place, huh?
Hell yeah. I don't know. Maybe Daniel Jones is more like a J.C. Penney type guy. I don't know. Coles might even be a little too fancy for him.
Is J.C. Penney's even a thing animore, or do they all go out?
We'll have one in Rapid.
God, I hope so. It's the only place I get my dress shirts.
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe he might even be even lower class than that. He still goes to Sears. They don't even have Sears around anymore.
Nope. I heard the Sears hometown in Newton closed, Clark.
Yes, you are correct.
It's a sad day. It's a sad day.
You cannot find your Craftsman mower here in Newton no more.
No, we bought a lot of stuff from there.
One thing I was going to ask, Joey, how does this ring you? Future Atlanta quarterback Daniel Jones.
Mm-mm.
No?
Nope. I don't even care if he's on a rookie contract still. Nah, I'm good. Like I said, move up for Derek Carr or take a chance on another rookie.
You would rather have Derek Carr than Daniel Jones?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Daniel Jones or who you got now, Mariota?
There are no other choices. Like that's.
Do you have Mariota even? He left.
That's true.
Does anybody know what happened with him?
I'd probably take Desmond Ridder and keep running the ball.
As much as I shit on Derek Carr, if we're going to be 100% serious and not just a hater, yeah, if you're the Falcons, I think you go for Derek Carr because you've seen the mismanagement of him in Oakland. That's been the only thing holding them back. Having shitty head coaches. They finally get some pieces around him, and they still can't scheme around it.
You might also be lucky enough to get Devontae with him.
Yeah,
It might.
that'd be sweet. I mean, they've already got 2 other stars on rookie contracts in Pitts and Drake London. So yeah.
You got that running back, Algier?
Yeah, Algier. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Patterson. Cordero. Come on.
Yes,
You're staring at me blankly. Cordero Patterson.
My brain
The one-man offense?
Even
Come
a
on.
Falcons fan, jeez.
I haven't had to think about the Falcons in like 6 months. So
They were eliminated from the playoffs after week 3.
yeah, I mean, other than keeping up and picking them every week, I haven't had to think about them.
Yeah.
Just take the spread.
I legit think if the Falcons got someone that was above average, Mariota is like Gardner Minshew. He can get you some wins, but I don't think he's your full year starter. Or if you can develop Ritter, yeah, I mean, I think the Falcons are right there. Like I said, they got cheap talent around him.
So for me, Daniel Jones and Desmond Ritter are spitting images of each other. They have the athleticism and can get outside and run, but neither one is very consistent passing. So that's why to answer the first question, I would still probably take Kyler. But if we're talking money-wise, man, I'm going to take Daniel Jones all day over Kyler because that contract, like we've said multiple times, that's the worst contract in sports.
So next question, Josh Allen or Daniel Jones?
Oh, Josh Allen.
They're the same exact freaking type of quarterback. They both can run. They're both inconsistent passers, and they're both going to fail in the playoffs. Come on.
Josh Allen has way more arm talent than Daniel Jones. I'm not even
So that takes us into the next game.
Yeah.
Oh, good transition, Clark.
Yeah, we got the Snow Bowl here. As soon as that game came on, I texted you guys, and I saw the snow. I said, well, I bet the over. That's fun. And I was right.
Oh, gosh.
But Joe Burrow comes into Buffalo, takes care of business, looking fly.
What was colder, his drip or the weather?
His drip.
I'm sorry, I'm so cold here. It's Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow came in, his type of game in the snow. Oh, Bills didn't stand a chance. Mr. January did not stand a chance.
Who has called him Mr. January?
Mr. Romo did.
Tony Romo.
Oh, God.
Brian, what were the names he dubbed upon Josh Allen in that one single broadcast?
Yeah, in the one broadcast last week where they squeaked by Skylar Thompson in the Dolphins, he was Michael Jordan, he was Mr. January, and he was Alien because he's so good. He has 4 losses in January. That's why he's Mr. January.
That's why, yes.
Golly.
Yes.
I asked you guys this. When is he going to start getting scrutinized like all other quarterbacks, like Kirk Cousins, who actually put 24 points down on a team? Like,
Never.
If any other quarterback besides him, Mahomes, and Burrow put 10 points on, it would be all these people suck ass. I don't get it. And I love Josh Allen. He's so fun to watch. He's so talented. But he's hurting his team. He really is. He makes some boneheaded decisions. The other thing is, like, comparing him to Mahomes. Mahomes can scramble very well, but he's very smart and methodical about it. He's very much, I'm not going to run as hard as I can into somebody. I'm going to see an opening. I'm going to go run and get a first down or get a few yards, whatever. Josh Allen is taking everybody on just head first, just trying to get into a car wreck every single time. And that is not a good way to have a long career. I don't know.
So you asked when they're going to come off of Josh Allen. They're not, because now the Tony Romos, the commentators, the ESPNs, they've all built that up for him to be so good. They're never going to come off and be like, ooh, maybe we weren't right here. He's just going to be the greatest forever now.
Mhm. What do you
I
think,
don't know.
Joey? Because I'm a biased Chiefs fan, so you know what my opinion of Josh.
Not you.
I think the narrative of anyone like going up against Mahomes as the best quarterback in the league is very stupid, and that should have been very apparent going into the season. But like you guys are talking about, Josh Allen is super fucking reckless, and he's going to turn the ball over, but he's also going to get you amazing plays. And that's what, to answer your question from earlier, Clark, that's what separates me from him and Daniel Jones is I'll take the big plays with the gunslinger mentality. The Packers had to live with it, and so did the Vikings with Brett Favre. I mean, it's just the way he plays.
You give Daniel Jones a Stephon Diggs and a Gabe Davis, and he's making twice as many plays as freaking Josh Allen is.
He had Kadarius Toney and still couldn't do shit with him. And I mean, Mahomes is
Kadarius Toney never hit the field. Dude was laid up with a hammy the entire time he was on the freaking roster.
Well,
come
he also
on.
has a way better running back than anyone else does. So yeah. Anyway,
who does?
The narrative of anyone is as good as Mahomes just needs to stop, and we just need to go into the next season. Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league.
Absolutely.
And just keep that moving.
So Joey took my next point. I was going to say Josh Allen is this generation's Brett Favre. So reckless.
Mm-hmm.
There's a window this wide. Screw it.
Well, and all these times he got hit, you saw him holding his shoulder, holding a wrist. Like I saw him holding a lot of body parts this weekend.
I mean, the big thing that he did though, and we all have to remember this because of the DeMar Hamlin injury, is that Josh Allen made sure that they lost by 3 possessions in honor of number 3.
But that wasn't really DeMar Hamlin there.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
That's what I hear.
That one, Joey. Have you guys seen this where everyone is thinking that it's a clone, that he actually died, and they're putting up the? I mean, Jesus Christ! People just like want to run with anything. Which I'll be honest, I thought it was really funny. They're like, look at him in the press box, and it was just it looked like it was filmed through a fucking potato.
Much snow. I can see through the snow.
Can we not get a camera in there?
They definitely didn't put one of their 8K cameras on him.
No.
Yeah, it was just a silhouette of a person.
Well, that to me just supports the conspiracy. I mean, come on, guys.
It legit. I mean, I saw a better make-believe person in Home Alone 2 when Kevin McAllister had the inflatable tower. That was more believable than DeMar Hamlin was actually. Yeah. So, no, I was gonna say the only time I've seen Josh Allen lose by 3 possessions and be dominated that bad defensively was when he played Iowa in 2017. Remember that game, Joey?
Oh yes, I very much remember that game.
Okay. No, I was like, we keep harping on Josh Allen. You guys want to dig into Diggs for a little bit as fans? Question mark.
Yeah, I mean this was the Stephon Diggs we saw in Minnesota. Like, obviously we'll always remember the Minneapolis Miracle, but there's also the Stephon Diggs that's a diva, and we saw that play out big time this weekend.
Yep. So Clark, to your point, Daniel Jones may get Stephon Diggs. So
he might. You never know.
Kansas City might. I mean, because Stephon is worried about winning a championship. What's the only team he can go to that doesn't need wide receiver help, or that does need wide receiver help? Kansas City.
Giants and KC, man, those are 2 big ones right there.
Yeah, Giants aren't really Super Bowl contenders, but we'll just pretend.
So
they beat that purple team. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, yeah, anybody can.
Yeah, that don't make them Super Bowl
Hey,
contenders.
Like
anybody can, but there were 11 teams that couldn't quite pull it off, but the Giants did.
So did you see now that the Giants lost, it's going to continue this year that no team that Kirk Cousins has ever beat won the Super Bowl that year. So the streak continues.
You guys better hope he doesn't beat Kansas City next year.
Yep.
Oh man.
Do you think that Stephon Diggs' legs hurt after standing watching the Chiefs game 3 years ago, and he's still staying there watching every other team win around him?
Yeah. You know what's crazy is I get being competitive and getting upset. I totally understand that. But you wanted to trade because you weren't happy with the run first offense, and then you have this quarterback that's a he's still a top 5 quarterback in the league. He's reckless, but still a top 5 quarterback. And you're throwing a fit, yelling at him on the sideline, and then supposedly he left before most of the coaches even got into the locker room.
Hold on. I'm okay with him being mad on the sidelines, but it has to be a pep in the. We gotta do something. This is our time. You gotta be that. It can't be negative. You're fucking up, because that's not gonna do anything.
He's being a shitty teammate, and that doesn't help anything.
No.
Yeah. Everyone is okay with you being mad at, like, if you ever seen Tom Brady or Peyton on the sidelines, when you're super mad and you're yelling at your teammates because you know we can play better and we're not. But they're going, hey man, we gotta get our heads out, and we gotta build off of this. We can't be down here. But when you're just going, you need to throw the better, and when it's finger pointing, that's not going to work. And I don't like to hear that he left before coaches and stuff, and everything else.
Yeah, so what supposedly happened was he got all of his stuff right away, left. Is it Duke or David Johnson? I think Duke Johnson saw him leaving, grabbed him, took him back to the locker room, said, hey, you got to come back. And then like a couple minutes later left again.
Yeah, that's shitty teammate. So
that's not good.
If you're the Bills, maybe you just go and either trade up for someone like the Eagles did, try and get an AJ Brown or someone that, try and get something out of him. If he's going to be that much of a teammate, I don't know. The Raiders wouldn't, but if you can get like a Devontae Adams and try and help their cap situation, and get him, I think that's what you got to do if that's going to continue. But
if he doesn't have a trade clause, dump his ass somewhere. Just pathetic.
Yeah.
Like send him to the reeling Rams.
Have fun in Houston.
There you go.
But this was just the same crap we saw. And Diggs was a fun player to have in Minnesota, but he was very emotional. A lot of get off the field, throw your helmet type stuff. A lot of get a touchdown, take your helmet off and start yelling at the crowd type thing. And I'm very happy. I feel like Minnesota won that trade with Justin Jefferson.
No, absolutely.
I always felt like it was a very big win-win for both sides, but Diggs is Diggsing right now.
So, well, I'm going to pull up some tweets that he had. There's nothing really thing. It was just him after the game. You want me to be okay with losing? Nah. Next tweet. Want me to be okay with our level of play? It's not up to the standard? Nah. Third tweet. It's easy to criticize my reaction more than the result, which true, but also I'm sorry, man. That is being a professional athlete. You're going to everyone's instant react. What's our title of this pod called? Reaction. We're all going to react to it.
Well, and it's one thing, too, that he's not a rookie. He's not a second year. He's not a third year. He's been in the league long enough where he's a veteran and he's a leader. He needs to act. He needs to be that way.
I agree.
I don't know.
I guess we needed to spend more time on the losers, because we're going to be able to talk about the Bengals at least next week. My God, man, you're the biggest Burrow fan over there, Ryan. Let's hear about it, about your boy.
I don't want to be crucified after saying good things about him.
Say something.
No,
he won. What do you want?
Here's the thing. I'm going to put him as the second best QB in the league behind Mahomes. It's not close. It's not close. But I'm going to put him number 2 in the league. He's a phenomenal talent. Whether you hate his persona or not, he is a dang good quarterback. I'm not quite understanding this whole underdog mentality, I guess, too. Like, I can see that in college when he was benched in Ohio, didn't give a shot in Ohio State. He goes to LSU, has one of the best seasons in college football history. And, even we were kind of crapping on Cincinnati earlier this season during the first half of the season because they didn't look good at all. And then second half, they just really, really kind of put it on. Yeah. So, but you guys are the former AFC winners. You're who's everyone's targeting.
That was the Bengals last year.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. The Bengals are
Oh.
the former. Yeah, so I mean, they're not really the underdog anymore. There's everyone's coming after them. But yeah, Burrow, phenomenal talent, really is. He's number 2 for me. It's going to be fun next week.
I'm going to say that Burrow is this season what everybody said Josh Allen was going to be.
Yep. And I think we have I honestly think the future in the AFC is Kansas City versus Cincinnati. I don't see the Bills taking the next step. Like I said, if I predict them next year, you guys have to throw something at me, or I don't know. But it's going to be Cincinnati and Kansas City all the way through, and it's the new Manning versus Brady. It really is.
And not only that, I think. Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
You're good. You're good. Go, Joey.
I was gonna say, I think the most surprising thing for this weekend for me was we talk about the Bills not being there in the future. They spent a shit ton of money on that defensive line, and who'd have thought the fucking ancient ass Von Miller is going to be the reason why your team is so good because he's a third down specialist. With Ed Oliver and all those other guys that are on that line, you would have thought that they would have been able to beat up on this Bengals offensive line that had 6 people practicing this week. Like, there's no way in hell that line should have been dominated like it did. And the Bengals offensive line took it to them. It was surprising as hell, and I was happy to see it. I mean, I'm not a Bills hater, but I like the Bengals. I thought the story last year was awesome. I like them in the playoffs this year. Joe Burrow, for anyone that hates on him, I mean, he's a winner. He's gonna win games for him.
Yep, he knows how to win, that's for sure. One thing I was impressed with Cincinnati is their defensive line they were doing awesome. Boy,
Henderson looked like a fucking beast, man. He was so good.
Always making Allen have to scramble and get away. Or I mean, that's one thing. I hope Kansas City has a good offensive line.
We've solidified it, but I wouldn't say we've got the greatest line either. And now you have a less mobile Patrick Mahomes this week too.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing that would keep me from maybe saying Kansas City can't win is that.
I'm really hoping we have a crew this weekend working who just doesn't give a shit about a hold. Doesn't care.
When do they announce refs?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Carl Sheffers has been known amongst the Chiefs community that he will, whenever he bets or he refs a Chiefs game, we never cover the game. And there's always a lot of questionable calls, like a lot more go against the Chiefs. Whatever the Carl Sheffers opposite is that hates the Bengals, I hope we have them this weekend because with our offensive line, with how the Bengals defensive line was, we're also going to need it with our defensive line. You know, we got to be able to make some plays because that is the thing that pisses me off every time about Joe Burrow watching him play because it's like, here comes the sack. Oh, he gets the ball out within 2 seconds. And somehow Jamar Chase is also open 8 yards downfield and gets – I've said it last week. I think Joe Burrow intentionally makes sure he's at least 3rd and 7 to 3rd and 10 so that they can get those intermediate plays every single time. I've never seen him convert a short down for some reason with those 2 running backs. 3rd and 7, they can always compete every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It helps that the one thing they have that Kansas City doesn't have are amazing wide receivers. I mean, they've got 3 just top-notch wide receivers.
That is going to be the one thing where if I'm ever going to stop being the biggest Joe Burrow hater is when he starts getting paid, how is he going to be able to elevate not having the emergency threshold of Jamar Chase, just toss it down, he's down there somewhere. T. Higgins, the same thing. I wouldn't say Tyler Boyd as much, but he has some very solid pieces, and he's got 2 solid running backs behind there that, if Joe Mixon's injured, Perrine can do the exact same thing. They can, hit a run or a linebacker hard, and they can get those hard 4 to 7 yards every single carry. It's going to be once they start paying all those players around him, and same thing with Mahomes. Once he was off his rookie contract, we got to get rid of Tyreek Hill. We got to get rid of all these other pieces that help solidify. That's where he's, it's going to be interesting in I think it's 2 years when he is off his rookie contract. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
For Burrow?
Yeah, Burrow.
I think next year might be his last year.
They're talking about an extension after this season.
Yeah, it was 5th year
whatever the minimum is, they're going to re-sign him immediately. They're not going to.
Oh yeah.
Let's
You're not
franchise tag him and see what happens.
Not going to wait that extra year. No.
Do you
way.
guys think he will match Mahomes' contract?
Yeah, a lot of people are.
I think he'll be north of it.
Do you?
Yeah.
You add in another couple years after Mahomes has signed his deal, numbers just keep going up.
Sad.
He's got Super Bowl appearance already. He's beat Mahomes. Is it 4 out of 4 times? 4-0 against Mahomes?
This will be 4 out of 4 this weekend.
Oh God, did I just curse it? I hope not.
Both did. You both
What
said
would be-
4 out of 4.
What would be? I mean, what would be
I
good
said
for
this will be
Cincinnati?
full-time this weekend.
What would be good for Cincinnati is and not a lot of people do this, but the one thing about Tom Brady was taking team-friendly deals throughout his career. Are we going to see someone like Burrow do that? I kind of think not, but it'd be good if Cincinnati could try to make that happen and keep the core together. But yeah, you're going to have a lot of tough decisions.
I think it can work both ways because Mahomes' deal is very backloaded and is just pushed off into bonuses, creating cap space through the dark magic that is the NFL cap. Brett Veach is a magician and just works that very well. You signed Mahomes to what was it, 10 years, $500 million, but his per year contract right now, was it even top 10 this year? I don't think it was. So there is a way to make him the highest paid quarterback without actually doing that. So we'll see a big number put out there, but it's what it actually is. We'll see.
Yeah, that's one thing is a lot of the teams make it so the salary cap isn't even a real thing.
Yep.
Right.
Thank you, Brett Veach.
Mm-hmm. And with a young quarterback like Burrow, too, to touch on Clark's point more, the more and more they can put it on the back end and those receivers age out, he's just going to get more receivers, put in to make up for that contract.
What are you looking at there, Bryant?
I'm looking at the total cash. There's so many different ways you can look at it, whether it's base salary or not. I'm just laughing because Mahomes is top 5 in all of these, but you know who else is top 5 in all of these categories as well? Deshaun Watson. I'm looking at all of these salary figures, and he's he's number 1 to 3 in every single category.
So I saw a list of the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks for this year. Is the top 10. 7 of them weren't in the playoffs. Didn't make the playoffs.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cleveland has to be one of the worst ran organizations in sports history.
Agree.
No,
Joe Thomas.
And who knows? Maybe next year Deshaun will go back to what everyone thought he was, this amazing quarterback. But boy, it didn't look good this year.
No.
It still pisses me off that fucking Calvin Ridley put down a $20 parlay and gets more of a punishment than fucking Deshaun Watson.
Oh, do we get him back next year?
Calvin? Yeah, for the Jaguars.
Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo! Dude, Trevor's going to be so good next year. Oh, my gosh.
Holy crap. Tannehill's top 5 for cap hit.
Yeah. He'll be out of there as well.
I'm going to say it right now. I'm putting money on Jags division round next year.
Jags AFC champions.
Now, I wanted to bring this up as well before we move on to the final game here, and we can talk about the salaries as well. So I wanted to ask this. I want to be as unbiased, and I'm just going to let you guys answer it here. But, obviously me for sure. Clark has exhibited some of it too. Hate Joe Burrow. Why? Because he beats our team. He's beat our team 3 times, going to lose this upcoming Sunday. But why is it? Because, like we mentioned, you have half of the players with, Burrow saying, hey, my championship window is every single year. Cocky, swaggy, we're the top team in the AFC. And then you have the other half of the team that are crying, whiny babies talking about the coin flip when you weren't the number 1 seed. They're trying to do this underdog thing about, well, you were selling tickets to the Chiefs Bills when they were also selling tickets to the Cincinnati Jags game. Where does any of this why is this amalgam of everything that a lot of people hate turn into that we like this team?
Because they're not the Chiefs.
Right.
I don't think
Chiefs
it's
are
that.
villains,
though.
man.
I don't know anybody that dislikes the Chiefs, though. Like, you can act that way, but I don't know anybody that talks bad about the Chiefs. I've never met them personally.
Have you heard of Barstool?
Oh, Barstool's okay. Don't get me
They're
started.
perennial Chiefs haters, dude. Those guys are the biggest Pats backers, and the Chiefs came in
Well, yeah.
and
Have you
Pats
seen
died,
Dave
and they just
Portnoy?
fucking hate the Chiefs.
Have you seen Dave? I mean, shit. They've got
That's a
freaking
large organization. There's a lot of people on that train, man.
yeah. If you look in the comments, it's not always the most friendly towards Barstool.
Yeah,
A bunch of douchebags. That's why.
that as well, because I think like with last year with the Chiefs, it was they're starting to get on that winning trend, right? And then it's turned into, well, the Chiefs have been winning so long, we have to start attacking the family now. We're going after Brittany Mahomes. We're going after Jackson Mahomes. I've even seen some disgusting people that are saying disgusting shit about Patrick Mahomes and his kids, you know, or
That's
kids.
terrible.
So, and like, you know, I just it's just funny because like that's the only thing I can think of is just that it's not the Chiefs. Because again, when you've hosted 5 straight AFC championships, you're going to become the villain, and I'm actually okay with it. But I just don't get when you see on the other side, you got people that are shit talking, they're whining about the NFL, they're doing this cocky swag, or they're doing we're the underdog, and they just don't even have a narrative of like we're the underdog this year. You went to the Super Bowl last year. You know, you are right now the winners. You're the defending AFC champ. Where is this underdog? I just don't get the Bengals. What is other than Joe Cool and what he wears in the pregame? I don't get what is great or lovable about the Bengals, to be honest.
As an organization, I would agree with you. I don't. The organization, I'm just kind of blah, especially with when they had Burfict on there. I really hated that organization, to be honest. Me, I'm an LSU guy, so I love Joe Burrow. That's just just how it is. I don't off the field. Joe Burrow is very quiet. You don't see anything really with him off the field. Doesn't seem like a bad dude. The cockiness. Anybody would love their quarterback. If Mahomes said that kind of stuff, you guys would probably be eating it up. If Kirk Cousins said that stuff, I mean, the whole chain thing, the stupidest freaking thing on the planet, loved it. I mean, it's just it's just a matter of Burrow to you guys is what Aaron Rodgers was to me for 20 years or whatever. And I'm sure outside of the Vikings organization fans, I don't know. I don't know how you guys felt about Aaron Rodgers, but I'm guessing Aaron Rodgers was probably loved by a lot of people. I freaking hated the guy. I mean, that's just how it is. And when you start developing a rivalry where we were divisional rivals and we were usually pretty even, now you guys have a rival for the AFC because do you have division rivals? Your division sucks, besides the Chargers.
Yeah, the Chargers will put up a good enough game to lose by 3. That's about it.
Yeah, so now you have this quarterback that's coming in. He's 3-0 against you guys, and I understand why you dislike him. Like I said, he's my Aaron Rodgers to you guys. But yeah, I don't know. I would agree on the whole. I'm not a big Mixon guy just because of what went down with him at Oklahoma State or at Oklahoma in college. So I usually don't do anything to cheer for Mixon. For me, it's purely Chase and Burrow, really, just because of what they did for LSU. And
yeah, I guess it makes sense for me to you because you're an alumni of LSU, so you have key great players from LSU. That makes sense. I don't see the widespread appeal because everyone was hunky dory when Manning was dominating. I hated him. I really didn't even care for Rodgers that much, and I never even played him. But like, yeah. Joey, is there other than let's be honest, other than Joe Burrow, what is good about the Cincinnati Bengals team where you're like, that's it, that's the underdog I want to root for?
The thighs on the running backs, they are just amazing. Give me those thunder thigh running backs in Atlanta any day. I just really like the story of. Yeah, well, I just really like the story of last year. He was getting sacked so much and still led his team to the Super Bowl. And this year, they're all beat up and they're still getting to the Super Bowl. And I agree with you guys. That organization as a whole for most of my football watching has been shit. I mean, even when they had Andy Dalton and AJ Green, they still weren't able to get over the hump. And now that they are,
Yep.
it's just a good story. Am I ever going to like outright cheer for the Bengals to win anything? Probably not. But I don't know. I get the appeal. I get the national appeal. It's a cool story. And I mean, when you see those social media throws of Joe Burrow just throwing it like 50 yards and then just turning around like Steph Curry, shit like that's cool. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to create content like that. And so for him to be able to do that type of stuff and get appeal, good for him. It's not going to last forever. Look at like Ryan brought up Aaron Rodgers. Like everyone loved Aaron Rodgers for so long, and now most people fucking hate him. So I'm sure it'll go away at some point.
I'm just ready for Joe Burrow to fall in love with a witch.
Just say Aaron Rodgers just like flipped the switch and got really weird.
Yeah. Well, you go down to South America and go on a drug trip, things happen.
His win from it's like, well, I don't, it went from like, I'm going to be fine, okay with the media to going, I'm going to be the bad boy and I don't care what people think. And it's like, okay, you can have that mentality. And then he went heel 180 and then he really went. It's like, oh, you're actually going to prove to that you don't care how much. And he just, just done all that shit. Broke Danica Patrick's heart. You just did so much other shit. And it was like, oh, yeah, you just proving it,
That's the thing. Like, he went from Olivia Munn and Danica Patrick to a witch. Like, that is a crazy ride.
For the Milwaukee Bucks.
She must have a really good drug connection. That's all I can think.
Gosh.
Being an NFL quarterback, of course you're gonna have the best connections, bro. That's all I wanted, because like I said, I wanted to step back because I was like, from the outside, I'm like, this is an organization that just literally, other than Joe, that doesn't really say a lot. They're just crying about being the 3 seed. They're crying about this. It's like, you won last year and you're winning now. What the fuck are you like? Are we supposed to feel bad about?
Would they have been the 2 seed if they beat Buffalo during the Hamlin game?
I couldn't tell you. I bet you they probably would have. Did that change anything here at this point?
No, they would have been playing in Kansas City no matter what. The one thing you did mention, and I know we kind of crapped on it a lot too, not you guys, but I did, and I'm sure Joey probably said something, or Trent, was the Jackson Mahomes thing and his wife. And that shit was really annoying. It got really tiring. This year, nothing. Like, I don't know if he had a chat with them or what. And the hate has been gone. Like, maybe Barstool, those guys are just, it's Barstool. But I mean, for the most part, I have not seen anything bad about Kansas City. Mahomes is a super likable quarterback. He's one of the most likable people in the league. He's outside of any Vikings player, he's my favorite player outside of the Vikings organization. Travis Kelce, again, a super likable guy. You've got some faces of the organization that are absolutely fantastic. Anybody that Andy Reid's lovable. I mean, you really do. But I'm sorry, but the negativity of the family of your star quarterback, unfortunately, not fair to him or to fans of the team. It just happened. And we haven't seen that with Joe Burrow, and I can guarantee you, if that did start happening, the hate would be there too.
Oh yeah, no, that is where it's going. It's kind of like we were just talking with the Josh Allen hate. I think now that he's paid, you're going to slowly start seeing that from the media. Won't be as bad, but I've already seen. Maybe I'm just chronically online and I'm seeing the worst takes of the worst from like Bills fans and Bengals fans. But like, when I'm hearing like the 2 small market teams, and the Chiefs are a small market team. I know they don't like to think that, but like, if you're not Los Angeles or New York or Dallas, you're a small market team. Philly, Washington,
Minnesota,
Atlanta,
small market. But I mean, like, you're hearing shit about them literally in the game where Hamlin got injured, pre-game chanting "fuck the Chiefs." Yeah. Literally, they're going on this little vendetta, the Super Bowl run. We like this little chip on our shoulder that, oh, we should have been the 1 seed. You should have won your games then. I just from the winner standpoint, it just like, if it was like, and we're gonna get to this game just now, so we don't keep spreading negativity. But if this was,
I've got one more negative thing though.
Okay, that's fine. But if it was like a Purdy situation, I can understand where all this positivity was on this team. A bunch of like, but it's just like you have a woman beater in Mixon. You have all of these not great people other than Joe, like you said, other than he wins and he doesn't have any off-field controversy. they're not a likable team. I just don't get it as a team.
I would agree. As a whole, I would agree. The other thing too with spouses of players, and it's happening with Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen will probably not be a Viking next year unless he takes a massive pay cut. Which I love the guy. He definitely aged this year. He wasn't the same, but he hasn't said really anything. He made the comment after they lost to New York, I'm not sure what my situation will be this next year. That's that. Well, his wife is posting a bunch of stuff on social media about being an underdog and underappreciated and that stuff. And it's like, can you just shut up? Like, Minnesota loves you. All of the fans love you guys. We really do. And now you're not appreciated and blah, blah, blah. You're a 33-year-old wide receiver, very good wide receiver, like I said, loved by the organization, but you're also going to be paid or scheduled to be paid 20-some million next year. No, that's just outrageous.
That's just an appreciation tax for what he's given you, Ryan.
It hasn't been a Super Bowl.
Yeah, what has he given us then?
Where's my parade? Come on.
2 years ago, what'd he give you?
But
He
it's
was
like,
amazing.
but it's
3
like
years ago, amazing. 4 years ago, amazing. You weren't paying him enough. This is you paying him enough right now.
the players themselves aren't the controversial people for the most part. It's the spouses and the siblings that just be quiet. Come on. Like,
I also think that's also people. It's like, don't read too much into it. I'm sure if you were venting to your wife about something and they posted on Facebook, all your co-workers would be going, what the hell's going on? Fans are just literally fanatical where it comes from. They're just too fanatical. Just leave it be.
And it's a silly game.
If Patrick gets hit in the head, yeah, I would think Brittany Mahomes would be angry about him getting in the head with a helmet. Yeah, that's going to be part of it. And there are people that are like think that's law when family says shit.
Yeah.
Well, y'all want to move on off this game?
Let's get some positivity going.
I think we hit this game pretty hard here, but moving on, the Cowboys lose. Hate to see it, to the Niners. They are America's team because America loves to watch them lose.
Mm-hmm.
An ugly game. It wasn't the 49ers putting up 45 points like they have been, but they found a way. Purdy wasn't flashy, didn't have a ton of yards, but again, they found a way, which I think is a good thing. They didn't have to score 100 points here. So their defense, Dak had a terrible game, but 49ers defense is good. He threw a bunch of picks. He dacked is what he did.
That's the difference right there. Dak,
yeah,
turnovers.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and you knew it was coming. He had a couple good games, and that's what he does. And he'll just throw a big giant turd in there. It just happened to be this game. But yeah, I'd love to see it. Purdy going to the NFC Championship. I went on NFLshop.com last night to buy his jersey. I should have done it 2 months ago when I said I was going to do it. Nope, 3XL and 5XL. That's all I got.
Sounds like I'm about to buy a Purdy jersey, my friend.
You're rubbing my face.
You should buy two.
Yeah.
No, like you said, I think this is finally the game where everyone's going, because this has been the other thing. The Purdy train's been running for 10 weeks. Everyone's been loving the Mr. Irrelevant, and now all of a sudden they're running out of excuses. Well, he's been playing at home all these times, then he wins an away game. Well, this isn't a real playoff team, then wins a game in the playoffs. Well, wait till they play a real playoff defense, and they're going to show them what it's about, and then they beat them as well. So it's, I can get why people are starting to jump off the train or starting to really hate on Purdy as well. And again, this is just all online. It's a lot of ex-Kansas State and ex-Iowa fans that just can't stand that a Cyclone is throwing to a Hawkeye and we can just both be happy about it. Everyone's upset because he didn't have outlandish numbers, but I think this is a game everyone kind of expected. Purdy wasn't going to throw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. He never will. I don't think he will be that guy until he's a little more comfortable. He went 19 for 29, 214 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He did when he needed to. He got the first downs when he needed. And you know what? He let the people that are getting paid more and the better players around him, he was the facilitator, Get it to CMC when he needs to, Kyle Shanahan, they're allowing the system to work for him. So, nothing.
I was going to say, I don't think Shanahan will let him be that guy.
Mm-hmm. You don't think, or you do think?
I don't think that's not Shanahan's deal.
Mm-hmm.
He's very methodical with his offense.
Yeah, you're going to fake here, and then you're going to throw to this person. Yeah, I can understand that, but he's, and again, it's, he probably won't be the big hitter guy. But why do you think Jimmy G was successful? Because he was just okay with putting up the middle of the road numbers, but they're getting the wins. So.
Something about that system works too. This is back-to-back conference championships for him. So, Actually, is it 3 in a row? Is it 3 in a row?
They played in the Super Bowl versus the Chiefs when the Chiefs won.
Yep.
3 of 4.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good to see them just find a way to win. That's a game that a lot of times a rookie quarterback chokes away, and he didn't do it. So, I don't know. I had that same game parlay going. I thought that was easy money. Christian McCaffrey, Kittle, and CeeDee Lamb all scoring touchdowns. Man,
weren't expecting the defensive battle, eh?
No, and a lot of field goals, a lot of kicks, and I don't know if y'all watched the game real close, but that Brett Maher extra point when the Cowboys scored in the first quarter. If that didn't get blocked, it was not going through the uprights. He was missing that thing wide left.
Yep.
He totally shanked that thing. Man, that's in his head. It's probably a good thing the season's over for him. He needs to get straightened out. Go ahead.
Trent, I love the FanDuel post that you put today, or that you replied on or retweeted.
Is this the worst take of all time?
FanDuel posted the 49ers make it to the Super Bowl and Jimmy G is healthy. He should start over Brock Purdy. Heart for no, like for no, or retweet for yes. There were 110,000 views, so a lot of people didn't vote. There were 20 retweets. That's it.
Boy.
I was one of them.
And it was because you were making fun of them.
Yeah. Is this the worst take of all time? Heart for yes. Retweet for also yes.
Good grief.
Well, what do we got here?
I don't know if anyone else saw the very end of probably Ezekiel Elliott's career in Dallas, but if you can see on the screen, I don't know, are we showing it yet? We are.
Yeah, it's up. It's
Yep.
up.
Go for it.
Yeah. So he is playing center, and you can see that they're not doing very normal things on this, but it's just fucking smoke. Oh my god!
Did you see the Pulse of the Heartland Twitter account last night? Just posted a GIF of somebody getting run over by a car. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, because our high school ran a similar play like that, and knowing how hard it is to actually block in that position, what the fuck, Mike McCarthy? Like, what are you doing?
That doesn't work in the NFL.
So
no,
the way that we've run it though before, I wish we could kind of do like schematic, like John Madden do it. But the only way it makes sense to not have a center there snapping the ball is if you have the entire offensive line on one side, so that the snapper is technically a tight end, and you can throw to him. But what they did is I don't know if what we called it was a swinging gate, because you had the swinging gate on one side, you had a wide receiver behind a full set of linemen about 10, 15 yards to your left. And then you had 2 wide receivers on your right, so you still had to respect the pass, and you had to protect the middle with the center/tight end. But it doesn't make sense when you do a full swinging out unless you're going to snap to one of those guys behind, at that point, 2 linemen, because all it did was just, hey, you want to make sure that there's no protection. It just,
Right.
The reason we ran it in 1A football was because guess what? In 1A Iowa football, you're not going to be taught the same as NFL, and you're not going to have the intellect on what you're going to need to do. And either you're going to get a free touchdown or free first down, or the other team will burn a timeout. That was the point of that play. In the NFL, they're smart enough to go, we're just going to stand here and fucking do what you're going to do. See what happens. And
Right.
Ezekiel Elliott gets smoked, and you don't throw it to your $11 million wide receiver. You don't throw it to your rookie making $2.5 million. That's the leader of your wide receivers. You throw it to the guy who's getting paid the second least on your team.
Mhm.
I think it's Cavante Turpin. What a fucking moron. The Cowboys deserve to lose that game if that's going to be your play call,
Hey,
and that's going to be who you throw to.
He was the best player in the AFL last year.
Oh, fuck. Okay, you dismantled everything I just said. Sorry.
And he got smoked when he caught that too.
Yeah, he did.
So Zeke was not eligible. He was not an eligible receiver on that play either. He was a lineman.
He could be lateraled too, but he could not catch the pass.
Correct. Like nothing about that play was ever going to work.
I'm going to tell you right now, it never worked in practice. And even if Turpin had caught that and he would have gotten a couple more yards and then he would have shuffled it or whatever to Elliott, if he also hadn't gotten smoked, or to Dak, it doesn't matter. You have no lineman in front of you. The reason that some of these lateral plays work with either the hook and ladder that Boise State did was because you have everyone switching in one direction. You pitch it to another player that is going the complete opposite direction, or you get it where the lineman can have time to get downfield, and also they're in the center of the field compared to, hey, they also have to run an extra 15 yards to get in front of you to block. It was the stupidest play set, the stupidest play call. I'm stunned. It's amazing.
Right. I don't know what the hell McCarthy was doing. Man.
Was it his play?
I don't know. It's hard for me to think that.
There's no way someone calls that.
You're not giving any of that duty or that fall on the offensive coordinator.
Oh no, and I don't know. That's what I'm saying is like I don't know. I can't imagine McCarthy signs off because they even called a timeout before that to like get their defense ready. And why would you stay in that formation? That's what I'm getting at. Like the head coach should see that and be like, no, we need to come out of that.
Fucking call timeout. One of you linemen jump off sides, punch someone in the face. Stop this play. However, snap the ball. So, I'm not speechless. Obviously, I've been talking quite a bit on it, but that was kind of one of the dumbest plays I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So, Brian,
one other thing you forgot to mention when you were talking about 1A Iowa players is they're just as athletic as the NFL. So,
no, absolutely.
Just NFL breeding grounds and
Exactly.
1A football.
Exactly.
That's where you get the likes of Chad Greenways and you get a lot of your linemen like that. Only if they wrestled, though, right, Joey?
That's right. Only if they wrestled.
The next point here, Bryant, I believe, put on here, he might do this coming week if the Chiefs lose.
Yeah, I'll make sure I have a stand set up. And it's a very doubtful if the Chiefs lose. I'll make sure I have 3 different camera angles. I'm sure. Did you guys all see the Cowboy fan though that had a group of 8 people in front of his living room, and he was they were watching the game on a 32-inch screen,
and he just punches right through the screen.
Yeah, I mean, a couple things. First off,
that was so staged.
Yeah, staged because one. What kind of shitty host has that small of a TV and you invite that many people that far away? Like, there's no way I would be sitting there and just going, yeah, it looks pretty good. You can't be that far away from a TV and then being the only person there and you know exactly what the play is. I think it was staged, but I've seen more and more people doing it. I think it's just more of a staged thing now. People are watching TVs, no matter how cheap they are. You know what inflation is? TVs are expensive now.
Yeah, that guy
I
had
think
a
you're right.
32-inch TV that was on the fritz anyway, so he's like, we're setting this up.
Every single week, there's a game where this person's team lost, and he takes it out on the TV. It's happening every single weekend now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally a meme on every game that like a team chokes the game away. Every first response is like, "I hope you're happy, University or Iowa State University. I just destroyed my TV in front of my son and his friends, and now their birthday party's ruined." It's always like some huge celebration ruined, and it's a picture of a destroyed TV. That's all it is at this point.
And the wife took the kids, and now it's every week.
If you get so upset over a sporting event that you need to punch a fucking TV, you need therapy. I'm sorry.
You need to go to like a rage room. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. It's literally people just buy junk and then you go and break said junk in their facility. I mean, that just seems like a too easy of a money maker. I just have to buy. It doesn't even have to be a nice building, but here's some safety goggles, a sledgehammer. Oh, here's this TV monitor that no one wanted. Go and destroy it because you're mad at something. I don't know.
I've watched enough games of Bryant to know that things can get heated, but I haven't seen him break a TV yet. So
no.
So apparently Elvis used to shoot TVs.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which, I mean, that was back in how long ago? I mean, that's legit. I can get behind shooting TVs.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
But he's also stupid rich. I mean, so he's going, who the hell, here's a technology that no one else has. I mean, that would be like if I just saw someone getting those new Air Max Pro over-the-ear headphones, and they're just snapping them in half because they're so fucking rich. You know, Elvis shooting TVs, that's on that type of level.
I guess I'm reading this. I guess he did it as a joke when he had people over. He would bring out a 357 Magnum, shoot a TV, and finish with "Take it to the graveyard." And I guess there's a bunch of TVs in the back of Graceland. So apparently that was just his thing.
He's just like popping 350 mags in his house.
Yes, just taking out TVs.
It just seems awfully reckless. Like there's bullet holes in the side of his house.
Yeah,
back in the day, those TVs were huge, so they were what?
Dude needs a hunter safety course.
I saw the new Elvis movie in theaters over three hours. Not one scene did it have him shooting a TV with a Magnum pistol. That would have been a revolver. Sorry, that would have been a welcome addition. Add 2 extra minutes. That was literally him lining up target practice, shoot a TV. Excellent. Would have made it that much better.
So the movie wasn't factually accurate then. That is
the movie was factually too long. Holy shit.
But they could have taken a couple extra minutes and set up a TV shooting.
Yeah, instead we had an 8-minute build up to him going to those like not the snake churches, but like those people that they're hallelujah, rolling their eyes back in their head, looking at the sky. A lot of that.
Church I grew up in.
Yeah.
Did they do the whole dying and while pooping on a toilet thing?
No, they did the Elvis has left the building a lot because they had to announce it because people just apparently back then when people didn't have shit to do, they would just stay places. They would just get, hey, Elvis does his encore, and then he goes back and he changes, he showers or whatever, and then he leaves, and they go, everyone go the fuck home. He's gone. He has left the building, please. And yeah, I would say it did not go over him dying on the toilet, though.
Because he's not dead. He lives upstairs at Graceland. We've been there. They don't let you upstairs. He still lives there, upstairs.
So that's an interesting question. How long do you guys for encores at concerts? How long will you stay for that? If there's not one within a minute, I'm out of there.
Until they turn the lights on, which they do that once they're not coming out.
You know what the worst is? I went to a concert with Jimmy Eat World, and we had to do the longest. Hey, we love you. Come on out, and then they meander out after 5 minutes. Like, do you want us to sing the middle? Wow! And the crowd goes crazy. That's the only song I wanted you to sing. I'd have been fine.
Oh, I hadn't known, or I hadn't noticed you didn't sing it yet.
Yeah, it. And you know exactly what it is. every band. Just play your hits. Jesus.
I hate encores. Like, just
Yeah.
keep playing or leave. Like, I don't.
Be done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you need your balls tickled that much to just everyone just keep cheering for you type of thing that you have to come back out and make yourself feel good?
The Iron Maiden concert I went to in October, they encored like 4 songs. And if you know anything about Iron Maiden, their songs are like 6 minutes long. So their encore was like a half hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the last 2 concerts I've been to, Cody Johnson and Eric Church, neither one of them did an encore, and I can respect that a lot. Like, play all your music and don't make us wait around because you guys know you're awesome. We don't have to sit and cheer for you. Just
exactly.
do your show.
Did the full stadium and the amount of money in your bank account not indicate that you were awesome? Do your job. You were paid to be here from 10 to midnight and play songs. I understand you're going to have a little bit of a break in there. Play just like you said, the ego boost. Oh, bravo! Yes, please, Mosa. Just fucking play your music, man.
I really thought your question was going to be, how long do you take a shit, Ryan?
10 minutes tops.
Have you almost Elvised yourself? Is all we're gonna ask.
No, but I originally asked because when Garth Brooks came back and did his Las Vegas residency, like after 20 years or whatever, supposedly like the first few concerts he would play his set or whatever, and then go back to eat behind stage and all that, and all the fans were still there cheering for him like 45 minutes to an hour later, and then he would do an encore, and it's like, that's annoying as hell. Like, I love Garth Brooks. He's one of the best entertainers I've ever seen, but that's just stupid.
Yeah.
No, you said you like Garth Brooks. What do you feel about Chris Gaines?
Right.
Better. He's the best part of that. He's the better half.
God.
No, there's nothing that says bipolarism quite like that, right?
Yeah. So Tom Segura has some bit with like Garth Brooks that they had. Like, they literally have some bit where all their fans will comment on every single post on social media and just go, "Where are the bodies, Garth?" And although joke is that he like hit and run someone, and that they always just poke him on, "Where are the bodies, Garth?" or tell us what really happened. And you can go on any post, and there's always at least 1 or 2 of them at the very top because everyone likes them as well.
All right. Let's move on to the movie minute. Take it away, boys. I didn't watch Last of Us yet.
Am I the only one?
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm going to be out of here. I don't want to get spoiled or anything. So,
okay. You want to take it away there, Bryant?
Adios, amigos.
Bye, Joey.
Enjoy.
Sure. I didn't play PlayStation. I'm trying to avoid spoilers. I'm literally trying to not look up anything because the last like 5 years of Marvel, I'd have to look. I know every detail, so I know going to the movie. Now I'm just like, just surprise me. I kind of figured in this episode 2 we get more exposition on what was going on, and it started off well, and then with this one, I'll be real honest. The only thing I knew from The Last of Us, it was the grown man and the little girl. So I'm going, how fucking much longer is this woman going to be here? Well, gone. Now. Other than that, I mean, I'm kind of getting used to the. I'm not really huge into. I'm going to say zombies. I don't really know how else you want to call these things yet. I'm not usually.
They're called clickers, but yeah, that's.
Oh, what'd you say?
They're called clickers.
Oh. Okay. Clickers. We make sure we enunciate that correctly, but yes. I would say it is I've just really been enjoying it. I would say there's really not much more to it right now. You're barely outside of town, and we've gotten enough exposure, at least, to these clickers that, you got quite a little bit of action in this episode too.
One thing with both these episodes, the very beginning, the cold opens have been so well done. Like the one in the first episode was back in the 1960s or 70s, on a TV show, and then the one this week was a doctor over in Thailand, doing testing on one of these things that are turning, and they've done it so well. And the one thing about this is a lot of people don't like horror. they're really good at building the suspense. So like the scene where they're in the museum and there's the clickers coming in, like they could easily do a jump scare, and jump scares are to me are the dumbest form of horror. They just are. But you can hear the clicker walking, and it's just you're dread. It's a sense of dread, and they do it so well, very very well. I feel like it's moving along really fast too. There's no downtime. There's no pointless scenes or anything. I just feel like it's to me it's a 10 out of 10 show so far. Like they've just done it perfectly.
So I never like chime in on Movie Minute because I don't watch a lot of the stuff you guys watch, but you guys almost have me talked into this show.
You need to watch it.
Yeah.
And it's what anybody that does a video game adaptation, I haven't played it either, but I've seen enough of the games, and I posted a couple links to some scenes that they basically did 1-for-1 copies of the video game. They're taking the source material and actually using it and using it appropriately. Where I'm a big Resident Evil guy. Nobody has done the source material of it. Their movies are stupid. The series that they made are terrible. The Witcher, it's not bad, but they're not using the source material, and it could be way better. This show has been perfect so far. It really has.
It depends on if you're reading the books or playing the game as far as The Witcher goes, Ryan.
Is it going by the books?
According to Trent's wife, yes.
Who has watched the series, read the books, and played the games. So
because I've heard a lot of complaints about it not even sticking to the books that well, but maybe, I mean, it's the internet, so people complain about everything.
Can't believe Superman isn't Geralt. This is bullshit.
right. But I mean, for me, I'm pretty good at not totally enjoying shows as much as everybody else. Let's take Andor for example. This show is awesome. This is a top-notch show.
Yeah, I would say I don't think I've heard the only complaints I have were not of the show. It was of actors in it. But otherwise, I mean, show has been perfect. Like you said, with the source material, I think it was someone on Barstool. I think it was like their Lights Camera Barstool, their movie podcast. It was literally side by side of the scene where she goes, but you can't beat the view of the Boston Capitol or whatever. It was like just identical, which I don't think people want that the whole time, but you do need to have kind of those fan favorites in there, I guess, if you will, or what am I trying to say? But you're going to need those every once in a while. Remember, oh yeah, I remember the playing game for the first time 10 years ago, and now here's that moment again.
One thing they changed from the game to the show, and they did it because of they didn't think it was realistic, was the spores were airborne and you could get contaminated that way. And they thought in the game you could do that. And they thought doing a TV show that would be impossible because people would have to be wearing masks all the time and all this stuff. So instead of doing it that way, they've got the underground network basically of the fungus and of the.
I don't think there's going to be too many shows that are going to be too bold and going, hey, airborne diseases, am I right? I don't think we're going to do that for a while.
Yes.
Going to bypass.
Yeah. Although the quote of "there is no cure, there is no vaccine," that was see how many people kind of got worked up about that one. But
yeah, a little on the nose. Yeah. But like I said, people are always going to get worked up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever.
But yeah, as of right now, to me, this is the best show that's on TV. I'm enjoying, after 2 episodes, I'm enjoying the hell out of it. So good.
If you haven't started, I would definitely recommend it. And sorry if we spoiled anything for you, but really we didn't say who or what or anything. Just get into it now. I think it's going to be one of those shows that's only going to get better.
And Trent, episode 3, Nick Offerman.
Oh, well, if he's not drinking Lagavulin, I ain't watching.
He looks like a guy who could drink some whiskey.
All right.
He was eating a carrot, I think, in the preview.
Yeah.
That turned your
Bugs Bunny
fancy?
Or something.
Yeah.
But I one more thing with the characters is I love the banter between them. Like they don't like each other, and it's just funny how big of smartasses they are to each other.
Oh yeah. No, like the girl being the smartass, but they can't let her die. You can just see it just eating away at them a little bit, just like motherfucker. Like,
Yeah,
we don't
yep.
like you this much, girl. Just so you know that.
Yeah. I said one more thing. I got one more thing. My brother and wife kind of said this exact same thing too. Is it feels like a video game that you're actually along for the ride. And my wife picked this up where you look at like the scene that when they're walking on the bridge with the camera kind of bouncing with them. It's as if you're walking right beside them, and everything that's going on is you're right there with them. Like it's just shot so well.
The only thing that would make it feel a little more gamerish is if they get to a point where there's two really small cars, or two cars that are really tight together, and you have to squeeze in between them as it loads the farther part of the map.
Screen.
We need some of that in the show.
Yes. Yeah, Trent, I think you'd like the show. It's really good.
Yeah, you guys have got me talked into it. I think I might check it out.
You got to watch it before Nick Offerman shows up next week.
Yep.
I was a fan of the game. I played the original The Last of Us on PlayStation 4, I believe, or maybe it was 3. Shit, I don't remember.
It's been on all the generations.
I enjoyed the game. I enjoy a lot of games. I like the experience of different things, but I do need to check this one out. So where can I watch this?
HBO Max.
All right.
How long are the episodes? Hour?
First one was like an hour and 15. The second one was 50.
Not bad.
55.
I'll double check.
Yeah, it's your typical. It's no different than Better Call Saul. So
yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Did you find it, Bryant?
Oh, yeah. I mean, 52 minutes.
Not bad. All right. Anybody else got anything else to add to this, or are we gonna wrap this thing up? All right. Well, thanks everybody for following along here. We do appreciate it. Only 4 NFL games to talk about. I didn't think we'd go an hour and 45 minutes tonight. I really didn't. And then we talked about the game that none of us really cared about, the Bills and the Bengals, for about 40 minutes. So here we are.
I cared because home field in Kansas City. Thank you, Bengals. That's the only time you're going to hear me say it.
Yeah. So, sorry, going back to that. I wanted the Bengals to win this game for that reason. I didn't want a neutral site game. Yeah. I wanted, yes. So, yes. Good point, Clark.
I agree. And once Clark said I agree, we got to get the monkey off our back. Might as well be in the playoffs for the Super Bowl.
Yep. So, all right. Well, just again, thanks for following along here. We do appreciate it. Tell everybody. Tell your friends. Stream it. Go to YouTube. Just let it run. You don't even have to watch it. That's fine too. We just want the streams. No. But thanks for following along. We do appreciate it. How can everybody find us, Bryant?
Instagram, Twitter, Twitch at Heartland Pulse. And then you're going to have Facebook and YouTube at Pulse of the Heartland. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, or tell your friends about it. You know what? We said we were going long on football here, but we just love it so much, and we're coming up onto the end of it. We're kind of debating on some shows. One is a bit of a debate, however long it's going to be. If you've got any, suggestions on stuff that you'd want us to discuss, especially we're probably going to get more into smoking segments as well. Give us a holler. Let us know. Join us live. We're 8:30 Monday, Wednesdays, Thursdays at this point. And yeah, we'll just keep this train moving.
Yeah, give us something to talk about. We'll give us a topic. We'll talk about it. Be sure to tune in on Wednesday for the Road to 272. Only 3 more games to bet on this season. Mm-hmm. So that's winding down here. So go over to In the Zone on Twitter. It's inthezone.studio is the website. Go check that out. That's where all the blogs are and our videos and all that as well. And let's talk sport as well on Twitter. And we'll see you Wednesday night.